Namaste and welcome to this autumn time Yin Yoga practice. Today we'll just need a blanket. When you're ready, finding your comfortable seat, sitting up tall and closing your eyes. Let's take 3 breaths together, inhaling through your nostrils and exhaling out of the mouth. Twice more, deep breath in. Long breath out. Let's make this final breath the deepest breath you've taken all day, really filling up the lungs. And when you're ready, maybe giving a sigh, letting something go. So in today's Yin Yoga practice, we're focusing on the metal elements and its energy system pairs of the lung, which is the yin organ system, and the large intestine, which is the yang organ system pair. So the lungs are, of course, all to do with the controlling of the breath. We exhale, letting go so that we can breathe in new life. The target areas here, the meridian lines, are all in the upper inside of the arms. For the large intestine, this draws out the last of the nourishment from our colon, then lets go of the waste, which we no longer need, in order to make space for the new nourishment to be absorbed. And these target areas are the back of the upper arms and the shoulder blades. Thanking yourself for carving out this time, especially for you. Take a couple more breaths here. And when you're ready, blinking open your eyes. I invite you now to fold your legs beneath you. Bring the arms alongside us. As you inhale, we'll circle sweep the arms out and up as we look up. Exhale, hands to shoulders, out to the sides, chin towards chest. Hands returning to the shoulders as you inhale, looking up, and exhale, rounding through the spine, pushing the hands away. Inhaling to lift the body, lift the arms and gaze, and exhale, folding forward into a child's pose, taking a cycle of breath here. Then we'll do that twice more. Inhaling to lift the body, lift the arms and the gaze. Exhale, hands to shoulders, out to the sides, chin towards chest. Inhale, the hands returning to the shoulders as you look up. Then exhale, rounding through the spine, pushing the hands away. Inhale to lift the body, lift the arms and gaze. And exhale, folding forward, again, child's pose. Take a cycle of breath here. We'll flow last time. Inhale to lift the body, arms and gaze. Exhale, hands to shoulders, out to the sides, chin towards chest. Inhale the hands back to the shoulders as you gaze up, and exhale, pushing the hands away. A stretch at the back of the spine, lifting the arms and gaze as you inhale. This exhale, folding forward and staying here for 3 cycles of breath this time. Wonderful. When you're ready, we'll come up to seated. We'll start settling into our first shape, which is Sphinx pose. So for Sphinx, you might like to lay on your folded blanket. That might feel more comfortable in the hips. When you're ready, we'll come to lay down on the ground. The legs can be whatever distance apart feels comfortable for you. We'll lean up on the forearms, the elbows roughly under the shoulders. If over time your back begins to feel uncomfortable, you can always stack the hands and then rest your forehead upon them. As we settle into this shape, I want you to Send the exhale down to your lower back, inviting the muscles here to soften. And over time, you might feel like you want to drop your gaze. This is fine. You can support your head on your hands. So the metal element is all to do with the letting go of the old, of releasing and shedding, so that we can make space for the new. This is something that we observe in nature. And it's not surprising to learn that the metal element is associated with the season of autumn, which is when the leaves turn brown, they die and fall away from the trees, naturally detaching themselves when it's time to let go. And then they turn into mulch and feed the ground so that new life can grow in the spring. In nature, this cycle happens without a second thought. So you might ask yourself here, as we're moving into that autumn season, is there anything that I need to let go of? Taking your last 3 breaths in our Sphinx shape. And when you're ready, coming to lay down on your front, stacking your hands and resting your forehead upon them. Taking a few breaths here in stillness. If you turn your heads to the side, so you're looking to your right, and bring your right knee outwards. Taking a few breaths again, releasing any tension in the lower back. Nice counter stretch after that Sphinx. And straightening the right leg, turning the gaze now, so you're looking to your left. And then bringing your left knee out to the side. Couple more breaths here. And straightening your left leg. Bring the hands under the shoulders, pushing back into a child's pose. Then we'll begin setting up for our next shape, which is melting heart. For this, I like to fold my blanket and use it to cushion my forehead. You'll begin on all fours, hips roughly above the knees, walking the hands out towards the top of your mat and melting your heart down to the earth. Forehead resting on your prop. And if you feel like you're falling forward slightly, I invite you to shift your hips back just a little. And as we settle into our melting heart, I invite you to take some longer, deeper belly breaths. Giving yourself permission to let go. Letting go of any tension or gripping in the shoulders or hips in this melting heart shape. Returning to the cycle of letting go, so beautifully demonstrated in nature, where the leaves naturally detach themselves. We forget that we are also nature, but we have a mind and a brain that thinks. And so we can become attached to things that might hold a special meaning. We find comfort in certain things, making the process of letting go tough to navigate, which brings us to explore the emotion associated with the metal element, grief. Grief is actually a healthy and beneficial response to loss. Grief is a process that moves, and there's no right way to do it. However, if the process becomes stagnant, we can become stuck in our grief, which can cause depression and melancholy, which prevents us from living our lives and being fully present. How can we become more comfortable with this state of impermanence? By acknowledging that everything is going to pass. This is just the reality of nature. The resolution is to witness everything we see now as present and eternal. It's becoming aware of who we really are, the awareness behind all things. We call it our essence, our spirit, our soul. The permanence of our being allows us to sit more comfortably with the fact of change. We are halfway to the holding of this shape. Taking our last 3 breaths in our melting heart pose. And when you're ready, we'll begin to shift out of this shape by bringing your hips down towards your heels, bringing the arms in, coming into a child's pose. So you might bend your elbows and stack your hands and rest your head upon them. Or you might slide the arms down the mat towards your feet. And last few breaths in this stillness here. And when you're ready, we'll come and sit up. Maybe taking a few rolls off the shoulders. Maybe dropping the ears side to side towards your shoulders. Then when you're ready, we'll come to lay on our back, setting up for our final shape, which is banana. So once you've made your way onto the ground, laying on your back, begin by shifting our head and our chest over to the right side. Bring the arms overhead. Then we'll walk our legs over to the right side of the mat. You might cross your right ankle over the left or your left ankle over the right. The final option is to turn your gaze, also looking to the right, so you've got this big stretch down the left side of the body. Closing the eyes if they're not already closed. And coming back to your breath. Our breath is the bridge between the body, the mind, and our outer environment. When we look at our physiology, we know that the breath directly affects our autonomic nervous system, our fight or flight response. When we stay in this state, it leads to chronic stress, which affects the metal element. On the other hand, when we take a series of deep breaths, we calm our body and our mind, which regulates our nervous system, bringing optimal health. So I invite you to take deep belly breaths here, enjoying every breath. To every exhale, letting go so that we can breathe in new life. Last 3 breaths here. At the end of your third exhale, we'll bring the gaze back to center. We'll uncross the legs, walking the legs in, bringing in the arms, walking the head and chest to the center of your mat, and taking a mini Shavasana. Noticing any sensations on the left side and the right side of the body. Before we balance that out, you might like some movement. You might windshield wipe your feet from side to side, or bend your knees so the soles of the feet come to the ground, and lower the knees from side to side. Then when you're ready, we'll do the same on the other side. So finding yourself lying in the center of your mat, walk the head and chest over to the left side, again bringing the arms up, walking the legs to the left side, crossing right ankle over left or left over right, and again turning the gaze to the left so you're feeling that big stretch down the outside of the right side of the body. Again, settling in, closing your eyes. Allowing yourself to be held here. Held by the surface beneath you. Settling into this banana shape on the other side. Beginning to experience stillness arising even more in the body, the mind and breath. Beautiful meditative experience. A chance to dive into the essence of who you are. Last 3 breaths. At the end of your 3rd breath, returning the gaze back to center and crossing the legs and walking them in, bringing the arms down, walking the head and chest back to center. Again, taking a mini Shavasana, coming back to those sensations in the body, noticing how they feel more balanced. Every cell soaking up the nutrients of our practice. If you'd like some movement before we settle into Shavasana, the same options apply. You might move your legs. You might bring your knees in and hold them for a hug and a rock from side to side. You might even take a yawn. And when you feel ready, going to lay on your back or on your side if that's more comfortable. You might allow the legs to flop out to one side. You might bring the soles of the feet to the mat. Whatever feels most comfortable for you. And as we settle into Shavasana, I invite you to scan through your body, seeing if there's any areas that need some extra support. You might use your blanket as a pillow or a bolster. You might cover yourself over. Are your feet and legs relaxed? How about your hands and arms? Your hips feeling heavy, resting on the surface beneath you. As you allow your entire back to melt into the surface beneath you. Allow the skin of the face to soften. The forehead and temples. And clenching your jaw. The chest and belly rising and falling with each breath. I invite you to stay here for as long as you like, but I'm going to go ahead and close our practice for today. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.